समझ नहीं आ रहा अपने सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट का क्या करूं।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है, अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स के एसआईपी का टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
क्या समझ में नहीं आया।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है, अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स का एसआईपी टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
आप समझा।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
The real drama at the India-Pakistan face-off. India, of course, won the Asia Cup, took place after the match was over. Although the match went to the last over, it's a match that many people in India believe should not have been played at all. But even after India's win, when the Indian team refused to accept the trophy from Pakistan's Interior Minister, also PCB Chair Mohsin Naqvi, there was a standoff for hours. Finally, in a bizarre turn of events, Mr. Naqvi fled the field with the trophy, I kid you not. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi drew a parallel with Operation Sindoor. He called the win an Operation Sindoor on the cricket field. I'm Barkha, you're with the Mojo story. On the program today, we look at all that happened both on and off the field in that dramatic face-off between India and Pakistan at the Asia Cup. Families of the victims of the Pahalgam terror attack and many others, including senior army officers, had argued that India should not be playing Pakistan while Operation Sindoor is still on. Remember, the military action against Pakistan may be on pause, but the government has made it clear that it's a pause and the military operation has not been declared over. Still, the match was played and won. And then came the drama. Like every other match, there were no handshakes, but this time, even after the win, Mohsin Naqvi, the man you see on your screen, wanted to be the one to give away the trophy to the Indian team. The Indian team would have none of it. Remember, Naqvi is also Pakistan's Interior Minister. In fact, he's written a sharp retort to Prime Minister Modi's post on X. The debate continues. Should the match have happened at all? If the match was happening, then do you play by the rules of the game? So, do you shake hands? Do you talk? And then there are others who believe that Pakistan brought in Operation Sindoor into the series. Several of its players made gestures of purportedly downed jets, and then players like Jasprit Bumrah and others made that gesture right back. One thing's for sure, geopolitics and national security are now truly mixed up with this game of cricket. And cricket, many people believe, is increasingly becoming a business. So much to talk about. Let's introduce our guests on the program today. We've got a great panel for you. Mohandas Pai, venture capitalist, industrialist, educationist, is with us. Welcome to the program. Also joining us is Dilip Cherian, brand guru and image consultant. Also joining us is Tehseen Poonawala, not just a supporter of the Congress, a political analyst, a critic of the government sometimes, but in this case, one of the most vociferous voices against the playing of cricket between India and Pakistan at this time. And also joining us is Rajiv Pandey, senior leader of the BJP, as well as a well-known lawyer. Thank you very much, everybody. Welcome to the program. Tehseen, I think it's only fair I start with you. You and I have agreed on this. This match should not have taken place. It did. It was won. And then just like things we've never seen before, not even in an India-Pakistan standoff took place, including Mohsin Naqvi running away from the field with the trophy. The Indian player said, "Hum inse nahi lenge." He ran with it. I don't know what he'll do with it because it doesn't belong to Pakistan. It is all so bizarre. What are you feeling today after all this has happened?
So thank you, Barkha. Thank you for having me on the show. At the onset, I didn't watch a single ball of the Asia Cup 2025. I think it is terrible that India participated in it. I think it is terrible that this match took place. I'm very happy that our team won. I support our team. Whatever actions our cricketers took was done because the BCCI asked them to take those actions. And it's because people like me, Abhijit Iyer, Mitra, Kushal Mehra, Mr. Pai's tweets I've read, you, Barkha, people have raised their objection. Therefore, the BCCI was forced to act. This was not a natural act. If I may go back, when the Asia Cup trophy and logo was revealed, the same Mohsin Naqvi, the Indian team, shook hands with him. Again, I'm not blaming the cricketers. Cricketers are merely contractors. They don't have any power in their hand. So for me, those cricketers are my hero. But what's really left me astounded is two things. One, BCCI can have all these antics on the field, but they could not isolate Pakistan. Then what kind of a superpower in cricket are we, or in the Asian Cricket Council? And any lie that is told, we've said this, debunked this many times with you, Barkha. There's no chance of us not getting the Olympics. This is not an ICC event. We boycotted the Asia Cup before, and we've even boycotted the finals of a Davis Cup versus South Africa, where the whole world stood by India in 1974 and said no, South Africa should not have been played. So India has a moral high ground. So I forgot why we did not take it. But number two, my heart goes out to those victims in Pahalgam, the family members, those martyrs who lost their life in Operation Sindoor, and those who were also victims of Pakistan shelling. Pakistan and India are not one country. Anyone who advocates dialogue with Pakistan, I believe, is doing so out of naivety or out of some Aman ki Asha ka tamasha. Pakistanis by nature want to see the end of India. Mohsin Naqvi wants to nuke us. Their present cricketers wanted to enslave our women. Their present cricketers were cheering Pahalgam, and to make it worse, even the cricket commentators and analysts want the cricket team to break down Somnath Mandir. This is a country that's living in filth. There is no point in engaging in them, because if you engage with a pig in muck, you are the only one going to get dirty. And that's what Pakistan's proved with their actions on the field, including the actions of that AK-47 or the planes being allegedly drowned.
Yeah, but can I ask you briefly, the Prime Minister invoked Operation Sindoor in his congratulatory message to the team, and then Mohsin Naqvi, of course, retorted back, right? It says everything about Mr. Naqvi, presenting himself as a so-called sports person in that context. Obviously, he wasn't. What did you think of the Prime Minister's comments, given that you felt that the game should not have been played at all?
I was very disappointed with the Prime Minister. I've supported him during Operation Sindoor. I believe his government did a fantastic, led the government fantastically for our armed forces to achieve the kind of success we achieved in Operation Sindoor. I believe that was war. You can't mix the two and try and bring that in. What our armed forces sacrifice? What do people in Pahalgam sacrifice? What the other civilians in Jammu sacrifice with the shellings in Rajouri, etc. Remember, this was a country that wanted to send missiles on the Golden Temple and Mata Vaishno Devi Temple. How can you compare this with Operation Sindoor? That it was a fantastic game. I have not seen it. I give the Prime Minister, he could speak about it. But to compare it to war, I think it cheapens what our armed forces have achieved. Again, I have so much respect for the Prime Minister, but we've all stood by him. He said Operation Sindoor is pause, not over. Is this Operation Sindoor? Is this how it continues? Then make it clear. Then if this continues, then why not get their actors and humiliate them? Why not do something? So I just feel this has now gone. I don't think somebody the stature of the Prime Minister, it behove him to make a tweet like that. Perhaps he did it to sort of get the political initiative back.
Yeah. Let me, before I get Rajiv Ji of the BJP, get Mohandas Pai in, because when you were speaking, I saw him, it seemed to be in agreement with you. Mohan, again, you're an admirer of the Prime Minister, you're not a critic of the Prime Minister, but what did you think, A, of the fact that the match was played at all, and B, the Prime Minister drawing parallels with Operation Sindoor?
Well, I agree with Tehseen 100%. We should not have played the game for a simple reason. Pahalgam is fresh in our memory. We stood up to this terrorist state, Pakistan. Nothing would have been lost by boycotting the Asia Cup and not playing at all. The Asia Cup is a very minor regional tournament. Nobody needs to have a fear that India will not get the Olympics or India will not get the Commonwealth or the World Cup, because they are international events. It's a very small regional event. We should not have played with them, because this will give them money. Now there is blood money going to Pakistan, and we should not have played it. The Prime Minister asked us to stand up for India. We all stood up for India. We supported the Prime Minister, and I feel let down by my Prime Minister. This is the first time I'm let down by my Prime Minister in 11 years, because he should have taken a firm view. The people of India were against India playing in the Asia Cup. I've not seen many supporters. The BJP, as usual, tried to sell us a sob story. Oh, we must participate in regional tournaments. Oh, we must do it. We don't allow Pakistan to come. We don't go to Pakistan. But that's all rubbish. The Asia Cup is a very minor regional tournament. It has no consequence. It has no implication for anybody. And don't sell us a sob story like this. The BJP, as usual, tried to obfuscate. I think there's a conflict of interest. I don't want to talk about it. There's a conflict of interest in India playing the stupid Asia Cup for very, very real reasons. And I feel let down by, I respect my Prime Minister. I admire the man. I stand by him. But I think I feel let down totally in this case. We should not have played. No, blood money is going. India won. That is very good. Blood money is going. I respect our captain, Suryakumar Yadav, for saying that I will give the money to the armed forces. BCCI should give every penny they earn to the armed forces welfare fund. All the Indian players to give the money because there's blood money. The great majority of Indians, barring some silly people in BJP, are against India playing. And there's no justification for India playing. I'm making this very strong statement, Barkha. I support my Prime Minister. I always supported him for 11 years. I think he's the best Prime Minister we've ever had in our history or will ever have. But I don't accept this thing. And the Prime Minister should not have tweeted like that. Maybe he tweeted just to make sure that, he makes up with the people. And I have not seen anybody support this. Why are we playing with this terrorist country? Why are we dishonoring the martyrs or martyrs? Why are dishonoring our armed forces who stood by it? For what? This is a silly cup. It makes no difference whatsoever to India. It makes no difference. And as far as politics is concerned, who asked the Indian team to take the knee? They took this knee, remember? Who asked them to take the knee? That's politics at its worst. Who asked them to take the knee? And like I said, we all boycotted South Africa, right? The entire cricket federation. There is politics in sports. There's no doubt politics. National interest comes first. And this is not an international tournament, Barkha. Olympics, we go by consensus. ICC, we go by consensus. Commonwealth, we go by consensus. This is a small regional tournament which nobody cares. And this is only done to get money for the sport boards. And I think I didn't see the game. Like Tessin said, I didn't see the game. I called for India not playing. And the first time I took a position contrary to what the government of India and my Prime Minister did. So you can imagine the depth of feelings we have. Because there comes a time in our history when you must stand up for what is right. You must stand up for our martyrs. We cannot let a terrorist nation come simply and kill our citizens and keep doing it. We must hit back and hit back in a way that they'll never forget. And look at that Naqvi. That man lives in a delusion. They all live in a delusion. They think they're equal of India. He ran away with the trophy. And he's, messaging our Prime Minister say, oh, you lost all the war. They live in delusion. There's no point talking to a country which lives delusion. The Prime Minister went to the UN, silly fellow, and he said, oh, we prevented our terrorists going and hitting New York and Paris. I mean, New York, London, and Paris. I mean, he's fostering terrorism. He's admitting he's fostering terrorism. As any Prime Minister of any country agree the fostering terrorism, they would do the world a favor by saying we stop them. I mean, there's a country that lives in delusion. There is no hope for the country. Why should we do business with them? So fresh, after they came across the border, butchered our citizens with no mercy, asking them to drop their plans and taking religion the excuse. It cannot be forgiven under any status. India did wrong. India did wrong. We shouldn't have played because we gave them money. We gave them respectability. Tomorrow, everybody will forget about Sky not shaking hands. They'll only say they played the game. And as far as the Indian team has done, in the limited circumstances, hands off to them for not shaking hands with the terrorist people, but not taking the trophy from the thug, and for making sure that they disdain them and putting them in the place. And for our captain for saying, I will give all my match fee to the Indian Army Welfare Fund. That is it. BCCI should lead. BCCI has got a conflict of interest. Let's be very clear about it. They have a conflict of interest. They should have taken double care. And I think the people of India will be very, very against India playing and what happened playing in the cup.
Strong words there from Mohsin Naqvi.
Yes, very strong words. I mean it, Barkha.
Yes, and that's what I like about you, Mohan, that you have your political opinions, your leanings, but you don't hesitate to call a spade a spade. You've done it before on taxes, and you're doing it on this match. Rajiv Pandey of the BJP, I really hope your network stays because we keep losing you. I want you to respond to what Tehseen and Mohan have said. They're both very against the fact that this match took place. Mohandas Pai says that he has been a fan of the Prime Minister for 11 years. He thinks this is India's best Prime Minister, but Prime Minister should have intervened, not allowed this match and not tweeted what he did and given this whole process a legitimacy and not drawn a parallel with Operation Sindoor. How do you respond?
Barkha ji, am I audible?
Yes, please. Yes.
First of all, I wish to say that even I have not seen not a single ball of Asia Cup. So just I want to say that I could not see because of my preoccupation. Second point is that what Mohandas Pai ji is saying, maybe the government will look into that how things will happen in the next match or with Pakistan and all. But what I see, Barkhaji, that about that tweet, I think that is the reinforcement of the government, because many people think that Operation Sindoor is over. You know, in international arena, we have seen what kind of things are happening in geopolitics and all these things. So maybe Prime Minister has, after tweeting this, said that this is still going on. That is the second point, which I feel that that may be the reason behind that tweet. As far as BCCI taking decision to play this Asia Cup, that is in the domain of the BCCI, and whatever anybody can have opinion can say so. Government has very categorical stand that you see all sorts of relationship with the Pakistan is broken. We are not working on any aspect. We say that only we can talk about the terrorism, and you see the response of the current government after every terrorist attack from which originates from the Pakistan. If you see in three terrorist attack, whether it is Uri, whether it is Balakot, and now Operation Sindoor. So government is committed to take action against the people who are promoting and supplying or exporting terror in India. Now you see how Pakistanis are behaving, that you have seen. I don't want to comment on that. The whole world knows. Pakistan is in different league, Barkha Bhai. You have seen few days back, Israel has attacked their ship. They did not even break that news because their president and so-called prime minister and field marshal was in USA. So these things are happening now. What is the reason behind that? BCCI has taken decision to play in Asia Cup.
But Rajiv ji, government could have overruled BCCI's choice, right?
Barkha ji, I may agree with you, but right now India has decided to play in Asia Cup. It's not only about with the Pakistan. There is no bilateral relationship. Show me one sign that many people who are having opposition to the government, they are trying to beat on this point. Mohandas Pai ji is not like that, but Yasin has got an opportunity. But what I'm saying, the issue is government of India is not normalizing the relationship. It was a game. It was an Asia Cup. So we participated in that, and our whole action is speaking loudly that we are not going to deal with Pakistan, which is a terrorist exporter.
I submit to you, Rajiv ji, that the criticism coming towards the government today is less from the critics of the government and more from the supporters of the government, because there are critics of the government who have a very soft, namby-pamby view, Aman ki Asha types, as Tehseen said. Those people anyway will have a very different outlook. The people who are disappointed, Rajiv ji, are the fans of this government, many of them, who believe that if you are taking a strong nationalist position, what are you doing playing cricket with these guys?
Barkha ji, sometimes government takes, we believe in democracy. That shows that right-wing supporters are fully entrenched with the democratic norms, that they are opposing their own government also.
Okay. No, the government is everybody's government. The government is everybody's government after it is voted. Okay, Dilip has to come in. Tehseen, literally a 30-second interjection because I saw your hand go up, and then Dilip. Tehseen?
Just 2 quick points. Number one, irrespective of what side of the ideology we are, and I am anti-BJP, Operation Sindoor and Pahalgam, which stood by our government, and as Mohan ji rightly said, they opened pants and checked people's penises and then shot them dead based on how it was. This is the most brutal crime in the history of humanity. And we've normalized relations and given that country respectability by giving them money. We've given them 35 crore rupees and we've given them an international standing. Now, sir, Mohsin Naqvi made those comments, including about nuking us, way before this tournament was announced. Right? Operation Sindoor happened in April and the skirmishes continued till May. We knew what Mohsin Naqvi, Shahid Afridi and other Pakistani cricketers were doing in April, May, June. For you to now justify it and then say, oh, we are not shaking hands, is only because people like us put pressure on BCCI. It is not a stand you all have taken, sir.
Okay, Rajiv ji, you'll have to hold your response because Dilip has not spoken. Rajiv, please let me allow Dilip Cherian to come in and I'll come to you right after that. Dilip, you are the master of narratives, perception, branding, messaging. How do you look at the messaging? You know, it seems confused. Now, the government is trying to define it in this way. They're saying no bilateral relations. We have a very clear stand. Multilateral, it's part of a larger world. We can't be opting out. It'll cost us later. After this whole tamasha of Mohsin Naqvi running away with the trophy, you know, of course, I agree with Mohan and Tehseen. Hats off to our team for A, achieving a win under enormous pressure, B, handling themselves with such poise. But, you know, how does the big picture look, Dilip Cherian?
You know, the big picture means the big people. The big people could hover between what Mohandas referred to as conflict of interest, and the big people could be the big numbers of people. I have a home where, meaning, you know, the staff watches cricket like religion, but they chose to opt out of watching. And to me, that was very surprising. It means that this message has penetrated to all levels of society, and the fact that people who make it one of the few elements of amusement in their lives are willing to give it up because it has a deep personal meaning to them. And I think what Tehseen referred to as the sacrifices of not just the soldiers and the families who live in the Jammu region, but of every Indian who feels the pathos of what Operation Sindoor was triggered by. Okay, so that's one. The second thing is the whole business of blood money. And I think we need to take that into account. It is not about being righteous or being, multilateral in your thinking. It is about being practical. And by making Pakistan more and more on the global stage, a kind of pariah state, India will be doing itself and the world a whole measure of good. And I think we missed an opportunity to do that. And I think the Prime Minister's statement, in a sense, unwittingly played to what Pakistan wanted to do, a sense of engagement and a sense of showing that the game is on. That's third. The other thing, and which is the elephant in the room, which everybody has carefully skirted around, is Sonam Wangchuk. The fact that you are engaging with Pakistan and allowing the BCCI to take a decision of this kind also gently knocks you on the head and on the knuckles, because you are trying to say that an environmentalist attending a conference not about peace or disarmament, but about the subject which he is involved in, is considered an act of terror in some senses. I think that we missed out this chance, and from a branding and imaging point of view, India has lost a very big opportunity. Cricketers, mocking the Pakistan minister is one part of it. The Pakistan minister making a mockery of himself is another part of it. But those are not relevant. What is relevant to India is how the people feel, how they have been let down, and how we have shown on the world stage a duplicity which we could have afforded not to do, because this is, after all, a minor cup of no consequence to all trilateral, multilateral, several lateral game.
Yeah. So let me get Rajiv Pandey to respond and then come back to Mohandas Pai and Tehseen Poonawalla. Rajiv ji, what Dilip Cherian is also saying along with Mohan and Tehseen is the following. On one hand, there is a clear position taken, let's say, on a Diljit Dosanjh. Why was he in a movie with a Pakistani actor? A clear position taken on Sonam Wangchuk. That case may be, more complicated because you're talking about violence in Ladakh, you're talking about 4 people killed. But one of the accusations against him is that he attended a conference, a climate conference or something in Pakistan, right? And he was in touch with the Pakistan operative. I think what Dilip is saying is, if you want to take tough positions on other people who are suspected of something dubious, I'm not getting into the merits of the allegation right now, you can't take that position if you yourself are not curbing what is easily stoppable, which is this cricket match with Pakistan. That is the point.
Barkha first of all, I would like to say one thing. India is not at all engaging with Pakistan. Playing with the cricket is not makes that India is engaging with Pakistan. Is there any talks going on or any meeting is going on? You know, in India there are two set of people. When Operation Sindoor started, the people who used to say that, you know, why this war? There should be no war between India and Pakistan. The moment it escalated, they said escalated, and then Pakistan DGMO asked for ceasefire. India entered into the ceasefire agreement or cessation of operation. That time they were saying, oh, they didn't do anything. So in India, there are certain people who are bound to oppose this government's action. First, I want to say India is not at all engaging with Pakistan, and it will not engage with Pakistan till they support terrorism, till they abdicate their terrorism policy. Second point, what you are saying, that you know, government should not engage. Tell me, is this the engagement? I completely, even if you ask me also, I do not want any kind of relationship with the Pakistan. But it was a multilateral one program. BCCI has taken decision and they have done it. But making it that India is trying to normalize the relationship with Pakistan.
Nobody is saying that. Nobody is saying that, Rajiv ji. People are saying we're...
No, right now, Barkha,
yes.
Right now on your channel somebody said that India is engaging with Pakistan. Where we have engaged? We have played a cricket.
Dilip said that the Prime Minister's tweet may have unintentionally provided Pakistan the engagement it sought by making a comment on Operation Sindoor. Mohsin Naqvi is then answering back, why are we talking about Pakistan?
You see, on in UN also, their president and their field marshal is talking about India. They are talking morning, they don't have any other job. I am saying what Prime Minister said by that tweet. This is my understanding that Operation Sindoor is going on. You have to understand, and if right now anything happens and it escalates, the people who are right now talking about that there should be no relation, they will only come with a placard, please stop the war. I can show you that proof, that 7th, 8th, 9th, who were talking about the stop the war, and on 10th.
Okay. Let's get response. Let's get responses. Yes.
Why to stop this?
Mohan and then Dilip and then Tehseen. Mohan, that's fine.
Rajiv, please don't insult our intelligence, please. We are smart people. Don't insult intelligence. Don't give us this bullshit from the BJP about BCCI being above the government of India. Government of India is sovereign. BCCI is a private body. You can tell them to shut up, not play any game. You can tell them to withdraw from ICC. Nothing will happen. The government of India comes first. The country comes first. Government of India made a mistake. They can tell BCCI not to play. There will be no consequence at all if they don't play this silly regional tournament. This is not multilateral. This is like a bilateral within Asia. It's of no consequence. Let us be very honest. Let's be very clear. You want to support them, fine. And the thing, dissent is not coming from people who want to play with Pakistan or Pakistani supporters. Dissent is coming from people like me and Tehseen. We are patriots of this country. We stand up for India. We work for India. India beats in our heart. It comes from Dilip. India beats in his heart. It comes from Barkha. India beats in our heart. We stand up for India. And we support the Prime Minister. So don't give us all this bullshit and excuses. You can say what you want. You are just demeaning yourself and the BJP party by giving excuses and giving an excuse. India played this game in Asia Cup because I believe there's a conflict of interest between BCCI and ICC and India. You know the conflict. It shouldn't have happened. Prime Minister should have stepped in and stopped the game and said no. Our admiration and respect for the Prime Minister would have gone up multifold. We support him. We support him. We stand by him. We praise him because he's doing great work. He's the best Prime Minister. But don't sell us this silly, stupid story that, you know, this is nothing to do with the government of India. America refused to play with Russia, do anything with Russia after the Ukraine war. Europe refused. Now that is politics in sports. They banned Russia from tennis and all other tournaments. They did it. Nobody is standing. And it is not that this Congress fellas are saying, why why didn't you play with Pakistan or supporting, they'll go the other way. It is the supporters of the BJP and the Prime Minister saying this. You better get this message. You better get this message. Your own supporters are saying this, who have voted for you, who have praised you all this time, and they're saying it. They feel wounded, they're deeply hurt, and they cannot forgive you for playing this game and demeaning this country, demeaning all of us. Please don't make excuse that BCCI is separate. BCCI is not separate. BCCI can be abolished tomorrow. It doesn't matter. In ICC, India dominates. I'm telling you. And there's a conflict of interest between people who rule the ICC and somebody in the government. There's a conflict. You know that very well. And that has to be settled. And you cannot let somebody's interest take over country's interest. People of India feels country's interest is supreme. India should not have played. Let's be honest about it. Don't give us excuses. Don't give excuses and don't point fingers elsewhere. Please understand who is opposing.
I think you misunderstood me. I didn't.
I'm not misunderstanding, Rajiv. Don't try to confuse us, Rajiv. Please. Don't insult our intelligence. Please. Don't do it again. Please. Stop this nonsense, please. Please don't do that. Okay, we all know that. Please. Let's not carry it too far. People are angry and people are upset. Our players are angry and upset. Everybody in this country are angry and upset. Who is supporting India playing? Philip said even his support staff who love cricket entertainment, they didn't see the game. Everybody didn't see the game. Please respect people. Respect the supporters. They are a support. Respect them. Don't confuse them. Don't try to obfuscate. It will not do you any good.
Okay, I Rajiv ji, come in briefly. Let me before you react say something. We appreciate that the government having taken this position. The spokespeople of the party are in an impossible situation. What are you going to come and say? It's very difficult. It's very difficult to defend or rationalize why this match was played. That's what I want to say. There is no defense for it. Yeah.
Barkha ji, in the whole program, I did not talk about that. Why either I supported nor opposed about the cricket being played with the Pakistan. I was talking something else. Bhai Saab has taken to. I am saying the people who are saying that it is because of this play there is engagement. I was talking on that point. I think Bhai Saab has misunderstood.
Okay. Since you meant Mr. Cherian.
I am not going to be
okay.
That whether India should play.
Okay. So Dilip Cherian used this word engagement. Let him respond and then Tehseen. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Rajiv ji. Okay. Dilip Cherian.
Since somebody has a problem with the word engagement, let's engage with that word for a minute. Let's put it on its head and see what would have happened if we had chosen not to engage at all. Nothing. The world of cricket would have just carried on peacefully. Nothing would have happened, and we would have shown the world, as I said, the kind of behavior that the world expects us to have towards a terrorist state. Just because, there is some kind of dirty deal which seems to have happened between them and America, it doesn't mean that we have to sanctify it. We are a country which is under sanction from the Americans. We need to make sure that we have the guts, the gall, and the good sense to ensure that anything which can be misinterpreted, let's assume the government's worst critics call it a engagement. But as I said, put it on its head for a minute. What would have happened if you didn't do it? And why are we making this naked money game dominant in our lives?
Yeah.
That is what is really dangerous. And this means that there is so much that could potentially be compromised, and we need to worry about that. As a people across the board, it doesn't matter who you support and what you're talking about.
Okay, I have to start taking last comments, Tehseen. But you've been wanting to make a comment, so go ahead. Mohandas Pai speaks. You are at least a supporter of the opposition. Mohandas Pai's anger is as a supporter of the government. And I think that is what I'm trying to convey to so many people in the BJP. I actually understand that Rajiv ji is in a position which is difficult, because what are you going to say to explain to the families of Pahalgam victims or anybody else as to why this match was played? There is no good reason. There's nothing that adds up. Tehseen, go ahead.
Barkha, let me put it calmly, and let me use the word engage, because Rajiv Bhai was upset with it and Dilip used it in another context. When you go and give your opponent money, we gave them 35 crore rupees. Whatever language you call it, that is engagement. Because Pakistan is not going to use that money for the betterment of cricket. That money will have a bullet written on it. For every ball balled, there is a potential bullet at every Indian. That is the kind of filth nation Pakistan is. Now, let me put a second thing out. All of this that happened yesterday, in my opinion, again, I loved it. We won. I support our team, but was a charade. It was a charade because BCCI was under pressure. Please remember, Suryakumar Yadav was chatting with Mohsin Naqvi and shaking hands with him when the Asia Cup was launched. Did we not know that Mohsin Naqvi wanted to nuke us then? Did we not know that the present cricketers who are present there wanted to enslave our women and put up those memes? We knew all of it.
I know, but what are the players meant to do? The players are in an impossible situation.
We are not blaming the players. We are not blaming the players. They are heroes. We are not blaming. They are poor fellows on contract. What are those poor fellows going to do? What Mohan Bhai and I am trying to say, and I think Dilip is, look, there was an Asia Cup that happened in '86. India boycotted it. No World Cup was taken away from India. '89 we hosted the World Cup. Nobody can take away the World Cup. There was a multinational Davis Cup tournament finals, which India was versus South Africa. They boycotted it. The world stood by India. Now I'm talking about '74 and '89. Today my country is the fourth largest economy in the world and has progressed a lot more. The world would have stood up with a terror enabler. You could have left Pakistan out, particularly in a tournament where Pakistan's making money and we are not making money. We could have had an Asia Cup with anybody else. Did you not know Mohsin Naqvi was heading it before? Did you not know he's the PCB chief before? Did you not know he's the interior minister before? All of this has been done only because everyone's angry at the government and the BCCI. And Rajiv Bhai, a chaparasi, a peon from the government would have called up BCCI. They would have acted. I'm not even talking about a secretary level officer. A peon would have called up saying that the Honorable Prime Minister has instructed that this match should not take place. The BCCI would have acted. The BCCI is an incest club of politicians across party lines. And these politicians have misread the route.
Okay, BCCI is an incest club of politicians across parties, and that is fair because both BJP and the Congress linked politicians are at the top rungs of it. Also, parties, people linked to regional parties. I think that's a fair point and a larger debate about why politicians are in these sporting bodies. Rajiv ji, last thoughts. I know you're in an awkward and perhaps impossible position. It is easy to point fingers at those whom you think are critics of the government. What will you say to the supporters, to the people who voted the government and who disagree, who feel let down, like Mr. Pai?
Barkha ji, whatever Pai Sahab is thinking, that will reach to the government. You know, finally we are in democracy. Many people have opposed this. At the beginning only I said even I could not watch even one ball. That doesn't make any difference to me at least, because the BCCI has taken a decision. Now in some time it happens. I mean, I am not a fan. I do not support that India should play cricket with the Pakistan. I do not support personally. I am saying BCCI has taken decision. There may be some reason which I am not aware, or you may be aware, or Pai Sahab may be aware, Tehseen may be aware, because a lot of Congressies are there in BCCI. What I am trying to say, I am not a fan that India should play with Pakistan. I don't want any kind of equation with Pakistan till they leave path of terrorism and terrorists.
Or at least till you declare a war over with them. Operation Sindoor is not declared over yet.
Barkha ji, what I was trying to make a point that many people right now, because of this game, they're playing smart. They were opposing that there should be no war against Pakistan. Operation Sindoor should be suspended. It should be a stop.
Okay.
I was talking about that. I think completely Pai Sahab has misunderstood.
I before Dilip and Mohan wrap up for us, Dilip, the other debate is the Shashi Tharoor school of thought, which is don't play the game, but if you play it, then you have to play it normally. The fact that you don't shake hands, you don't accept the trophy from whoever's on the stage. And we have questions like that in our audience stream. For example, Binu Philip says, by reciprocating the downed plane action, did India really come better off as people? Are we supposed to feel better now? So I think the argument is don't play the match, right? But there are others like Mr. Pai, Tehseen, you have made the point. Saurabh says, for the trauma of the families of the victims of the Pahalgam terror attack to be reduced to an irrelevant cricket series is tragically comic. This was a futile exercise. Dilip, last thoughts before Mohan closes.
I don't think we should get into the Shashi Tharoor school of thought, because that deserves a separate debate about what games are and the ethics and the morals of gaming. Okay, I think that somebody who still believes that there is a huge bunch of people who would have opposed Operation Sindoor is, I think, extremely, misinformed. The whole country stood with the Prime Minister, and we continue with the operation. We are all happy that the operation has not been called off, because there are chances, and we need to be anxious as a country that this unprovoked attack on our innocent citizens is a possibility, as long as a rogue state of this kind exists across the borders. So there is almost nobody. I think it would be a infantile thought to believe that people don't support Operation Sindoor. I think Operation Sindoor was across the board supported, and spirits were joined. So I don't think that needs to be an issue. The issue is more complicated. The issue is who controls BCCI, and should not government have oversight on how these things are happening, because we are now treading on very treacherous soil, and we need to be aware of that.
Absolutely. Tehseen, did you have a sentence before Mr. Pai closes? I saw your hand go up. Tehseen?
Yeah, just one question, just one thing. I think that Dr. Tharoor is factually incorrect here. It doesn't matter. The fact is we shouldn't have played. Now, look, I'll tell you where this puts us in a problem. When you mix up too many things, for example, the Prime Minister saying Operation Sindoor, this was the continuation. Say we would have lost the T20 match. I would never hope for India to win. Then what, did we fail in Operation Sindoor? So you see, we are what Dr. Tharoor and Prime Minister are mixing two issues. We are very clear. Smash Pakistan, have nothing to do with them, and have nothing, not as gentlemen, nor as anything on the field. We want nothing to do with this country, period. That's how it is.
Okay, I think that's a fair point. God forbid India had lost this match. Can you imagine the pressure these poor team of ours would have come under, and it wouldn't have made the Operation Sindoor importance or the military victory any less. Mr. Pai, closing thoughts to you, sir.
Barkha, the primary duty of any government is to protect the life, liberty and property of the citizens of the country. Government of India has failed in this because of playing the Asia Cup, because it's part of the entire Operation Sindoor. Like our Prime Minister said, it is not ended. We failed. Let us admit our failure. We should never do it again. And we should never have this bogey and lie that BCCI is autonomous, is independent, speaks for India. BCCI does not speak for India. Indian government speaks for India. BCCI has to take the approval of the government of India to participate in international events. Government has told them don't pay bilateral. They don't pay bilateral. They cannot overrule the government of India. So we should not be given any specious argument that BCCI decided it is a multilateral this or that, because government of India can tell them, because government of India is responsible to us, and we the citizens of India feel the government took a wrong decision in playing, and we support our players for standing up for India, standing up for all these citizens finally, and especially our captain for giving up these fees for the armed forces welfare. And we hope BCCI does price-chit even now by giving up all the money that it earned to the armed forces welfare and for the victims of Pahalgam, and then put it behind us.
I think those are important last words, and all I would urge the government to do at this point is to pay heed. I don't know where Rajiv ji went. I see him below. Can we please add him to? Yeah, there he is. Again, as I said, it's a difficult task for the BJP spokespeople today, because there is genuine anger across political affiliations, Rajiv ji. That's what I would say. And I know that you feel it and you respect it. And, I think you will take away, if not the words of the critics of the government, at least the words of the supporters of the government. Because I think on this issue, India does stand as one. Thank you so much to Mohsin Naqvi, to Tehseen Poonawala, Dilip Cherian and Rajiv Pandey. Thank you to our audience, and see you tomorrow.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.